make people understand that intimacy and sex are totally different things. And that's why there's such a breakdown in communication between men and women. Okay, so men want physical contact. Women want emotional contact. And that's where the difference is. Because if you don't invest in your relationship, it's going to have problems.
Welcome to yourbrilliance.com. I'm your host, Amy Waterman. And today our topic is what to do when you and your man aren't on the same page sexually. Maybe he wants it more than you do, or maybe you want it more than him. When he wants it, you don't feel like it, and when you're in the mood, he's not. Or maybe you just wish he'd try something new every once in a while, or maybe he wishes you were more adventurous. Sex is such an important part of a relationship. It's the glue that keeps couples together. So when differences arise, it can strike at the very heart of intimacy. If you're not making love, what's making you feel loved? So to help us navigate these tricky waters, we've invited Dr. Kat Smith onto the show. Dr. Kat is a doctor of human sexuality and an intimatologist, as she likes to call herself. Her goal is to help re-educate couples about the difference between sex and intimacy so that they can equally enjoy their relationship. She's an author, speaker, and therapist who has created programs, workshops, and even games to help couples build these skills. Her work has appeared on Good Morning America and Fox 4 News. Welcome, Dr. Kat. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you so much, Amy. That is awesome. I love the way you introduced this topic because it is. I love that. If you're not making love, how are you feeling loved? I love that. That is a perfect setup for this segment.
There is a wonderful quote by Glennon Doyle Melton that said, "Men need sex to feel loved, and women need to feel heard to feel loved. And so if a woman doesn't feel heard, she doesn't feel like having sex. And if a man isn't having sex, he doesn't feel like listening. And it can drive couples apart." So your work is to bring couples back together again. And you call yourself an intimatologist? What's that?
Yeah. Well, I wanted to kind of make people understand that intimacy and sex are totally different things. And that's why there's such a breakdown in communication between men and women. Men think intimacy is sex, and women think intimacy is a closer connection, a deeper connection with someone. It's that bonding, that closeness. And I got to bring up a point that you just mentioned. Women talk so much because they're trying to gather more details and more information on how to love and care for a man more. So if men would understand that, she's really trying to find out more about your day, about your life and your frame of mind so that she can love you better, take care of you better. So that's one little nugget of information I could put out there.
So what I'm hearing from you then is often it isn't actually a sexual incompatibility. What it is an intimacy incompatibility. Is that right?
That is so accurate. Okay, so men want physical contact. Women want emotional contact. And that's where the difference is. And when I say men want, I always say men have 4 basic needs. They want to be pleased, and that's basically sex to them. They want to be pampered. Mom pampered them and took care of their every little need. They want to be praised. Yay, he caught the ball. And then they want a happy home. So if you can give him those 4 things, he will be the happiest man alive. Okay. Women, the reason why our schedules get off track is that men are still focused on sex. They want to be pleased. They want those 4 things. But as a woman, traditionally, even though we try to push away from tradition, we still believe that we have to be that good mother, if there's kids into the picture. We have to be, successful, and we have to be so strong and independent and all of this stuff. And our attention, our precedences our responsibilities are changed. And couples today are emotionally, mentally, and physically exhausted. So we're all just totally engaged otherwise with our devices, with our careers, with everything else. And when we don't make time and dedicate time to our partners, then, it's going to just dissolve. It's like any living thing. If you don't feed it and nurture it, it's going to die.
But perhaps date night isn't enough, because one of the common things that you hear couples getting 2 bits of advice, in the popular media, you hear them saying, you got to schedule your date night. And the other thing you often hear is, you've got to bring novelty into the bedroom. You've got to spice things up. Yep. What I'm hearing you say is actually, these aren't getting to the heart of the issue. The heart of the issue is actually an incompatibility between how men view intimacy and how women view intimacy. And until they understand that, they're not going to be able to unlock that passion that comes from being seen, being known, and being touched.
Exactly. The problem exists is that we feel that we can't be the best we can be when we are selfish. We don't want to think, oh, well, my love life is more important than, that woman got all kinds of hell because she said my relationship comes first before my kids. People, they don't dedicate the same amount of time to their relationship than they do to watching Scandal or Game of Thrones. Think about it. They will, religiously record it to make sure they are able to watch it. But when it comes down to, running a bath and taking a bath and just, having a glass of wine and just sit back in the water and talk, they don't do that. It's like, oh, I'm too tired. I'm too busy. I got the kids. I got this. No. You can set up a routine with your family. Let them know, no, our quality time is important to us, and we have to invest in our relationship. And sex is fun for both. Why do women feel that they can't be a good mother if they're having sex? That's how you got there.
It is hard, though, because the more you get exhausted and the more you have all these irons in the fire, you don't feel sexual. And so when your husband comes to you and says, honey, you want to come to the bedroom, and you're just like, I just want to have some time to myself. I just want to rest. I don't want to have to do anything. So how can we start getting on the same page again? Because my fear is that if a woman goes to her husband and says, oh, I've got this great new idea. I found out that we understand intimacy better. Let's use this knowledge to improve our sex life. He's going to think, what? Our sex life doesn't need improving. What are you saying?
Well, he's thinking his performance, okay? When you explain to him that you found something that will bring them back to that closeness that they had, or that fun and excitement that they had, that passion that they shared when they first met. You know how we're all over each other when we first meet, and then it kind of go into the second and third phase of the relationship, and that kind of wanes. But the thing is, you have to keep that passion going, that desire. Make them feel that they're wanted and desired just as much. The thing is, we fail to do that when we are exhausted, okay? We are tired. But why are you trying to be Superwoman? If there's kids involved, he helped make those kids. Give him some responsibility. While you're taking care of the kids, have him do the laundry. Teach him how to do the laundry. Separate the colors. But this is how much you put in there. Turn it on. Help him to take some of the responsibility off of you. Make a list and send him to the grocery store. Tell him to pick up dinner. Whatever it takes, share the responsibilities. It's not going to kill him. He's just going to be a better man and a better mate for you. Okay, so share the responsibilities. And then, even though, people try to go, oh yeah, the date night thing, blah, blah, blah. No, it's mandatory. Because if you don't invest in your relationship, it's going to have problems. Okay, romance your bedroom. Do some role play. Set it up that you're picking someone up at a bar. One of you are picking the other one up at a bar, and then go to a hotel and just have some crazy sex. I mean, just do something outside of the box. And be like when you were first in love. Why do you have to just kind of go, oh, I can't be that way anymore? No, you can be that way. You just have other responsibilities that also get woven into the mix of things. But yeah, you gotta keep the excitement and the interest in the relationship.
So one of the things that is going to be quite hard is to try to explain to him, well, honey, if you do the laundry, I'm going to feel sexier tonight. So one of the things I really enjoy is there is this thing in the news, I think it's been about 10 years ago now, where Sting talked about he and his wife were having tantric sex and it lasted for 24 hours. And people said, wow, Sting, you're amazing. And he said, no. He said, that just means that for 24 hours, we flirt and we have long gazing looks at each other, and we are engaging in foreplay, not sex, but foreplay for 24 hours. And so one of the things I could think that might help a man see why going to the groceries, looking after the kids and doing the laundry could help you feel sexier. Say, honey, for me, when you do those things for me, that's foreplay. That gets me excited. And you are going to be well rewarded when you come home tonight, because I'm going to be rested. I'm going to be feeling gorgeous. Yes. I'm going to be dressed in my most beautiful pajamas, and I can't wait to see you in bed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And another thing is, men have to understand that affection is a daily activity. You can't come in after 2 months of no affection and want to rub on her shoulders, and give her that look. And like she's going, God, that's all you think about. It's because you have not set the patterns of affection, and you have let it kind of like fall by the wayside. And then only when you want sex, you want to come in and kind of give some affection. No, it doesn't work that way. You have to give a woman affection on a daily basis. Make her feel that she's attractive, she's desired, she's loved, appreciated, and that you love her. Okay, she's not just a hole for you to plug into. She is someone that you really care about. And once she feels that, she is going to want to initiate sex even more. Because she's going to find ways like, okay, well, I like the fact that you helped me with the laundry. Yeah, man, that kind of gave me some ideas with that extra time I had on my hands that I could, hey, we could get a little quickie going on, or whatever the case may be. It's, a relationship requires compromise, and it's a partnership. So how do you make this thing work seamlessly, by both of you working together, not just one taking on 70% of it and the other one taking on 30%. No, it's a 50-50 thing. So you got to get in there and communicate, talk to each other.
So I need to know then, how do you start this conversation? Like, could you give us a sample conversation? A woman really wants some help. She wants the affection. She'd like a little bit more time to herself. She wants to talk to him. Give us a script. What would she say, and how would she do it?
I thought about that, and this is the best way I can think of it, because, a man doesn't want to be made feel that he's inadequate in the bedroom or in any area of his life, So I would go to him and say, babe, I've been thinking, it seems as if you are feeling that I'm not attracted to you anymore, and that's why I don't want to have sex. But I think we really need to dedicate time and really rededicate ourselves to our relationship, because you're just that important to me. And I know life has taken its toll and it's taken us in different directions, but if you help me a little bit more around the house and free up some of that time, then I could actually get in the mindset, and my body can then kind of focus on sex. But right now I'm just kind of inundated with everything. But I don't want you to feel that I don't love you. I want you and I desire you, but I'm just exhausted and I need your help in this area so that I can then give you the time and attention that you deserve.
Wow. I love that.
Yeah. So then he's hearing you, and he's also hearing like, oh yeah, okay, if I could do a little bit more around the house, I'll get a little more nookie,
So I have to ask another question though, that goes along with the fatigue. And that is, as we get older, our bodies change and we don't necessarily feel as good when we take our clothes off. How can we get the body confidence back to be able to just relax and enjoy sex without worrying about how our bodies have changed?
Well, I think couples evolve together. I mean, it's very seldom you have the wife, especially after having kids, that, her body is changed. She's more voluptuous. She's, not as curvy, shapely as she would like to be. But I mean, I think it takes a toll on him as well. So you're both there together. So, what me and my husband do, we walk every morning together. And I get my squats in by picking up trash that's around in the neighborhood. I'm trying to do as much as I can, but it's also a shared activity that we do together. The thing about, what you tell yourself, that internal dialogue, really, it's defeating your goal. So if you're telling yourself, oh, I hate my body, I've gained so much weight, I'll never lose it, all this kind of stuff, then you are actually going to fulfill that, and you're not going to love yourself. If you tell yourself, you know what, I love myself enough that I'm going to do a little bit more to lose the weight. I'm going to not eat what the kids are eating as a snack. I'm not going to do this. I'm going to try and eat healthier. And I'm going to also get him on board because I want him to be healthy and I want him to be around for a long time. So, hon, we got to cut back on the beer and the wine and let's do this together. Involve your family in it. So I think, that helps you to kind of look at yourself differently and say, you know what, tell yourself, I love you and we're losing this weight and we're going to look the best we've ever looked and the best you can at any age. I mean, we all going to get there, right? We're all going to get there. So don't beat yourself up. Have fun with life all over again. Laugh at yourself. Don't take yourself so seriously, and don't compare yourself to all those damn Instagram pictures out there with these girls with the six-pack abs. They're probably 19. And so if you're 45, 50 years old, the chances are you're not going to look like that again. But you can be the best you can be at that age.
You can be a hot and sexy couple even though you're not 16. Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
So you've actually developed this course. It's called The Positive Power of P, and it actually helps couples, lead them step through building these skills. Could you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's really aimed at women understanding their man and then helping them to understand how to give them that deep, intimate connection that they desire. Not just sexual desire and pleasure. It's more than that. They want to be pleased in all of life. But, the sex is really the focus of the program. Because, once you enrich and enhance your sex life, man, everything else seems to just be so much sweeter, right? If you learn to communicate your desires, what you need, and understand your partner even more, then you have a better chance of creating that relationship that you envision. So I take you step by step. Here's what, how to understand your man. Here is how to figure out what you need. Here's how to communicate what you need. Okay, and then it gets down to the end of the program where it says how to maintain this newfound way of being with your mate.
Now, for those of you watching, we've got a link for you to check it out. Just go to yourbrilliance.org/Dr. Cat. That's yourbrilliance.org/DRKAT. So we're coming to an end, and thank you so much, Dr. Cat, for coming on to the show. I just wanted to ask you if you had one last message that you'd like to leave our listeners with.
I think the rededication part is the most important. If you can take 1 hour without your device, without anything else interfering in the quality time that you spend with your lover, that can make the most difference, because then you can actually be together Even if you're laying in bed, you don't have to say anything. Just snuggle up and just be together and just kind of rekindle that passion that you had when you first started out. I mean, it's amazing. It's magical when you just really kind of dedicate some time and energy to your relationship.
Thanks again. That's fabulous. I'm Amy Waterman for yourbrilliance.com. Thank you so much for joining us, and we hope to see you again soon. Until then, let your brilliance shine.